What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Alan Pangborn, President and Chief Executive Officer at Chesapeake Gold. It's a pleasure to have you back on today, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, Aaron, and good to see you again.
Yes, I'm excited to be talking about the company, about gold. It's been a challenging environment, but here we are today. So can you start by giving us an update on the company, telling us a bit more about everything that you've been up to, for the last year and since we last spoke?
Yeah, sure. So Chesapeake Gold, our principal asset is Metates in Mexico. Very, very large gold silver deposit in development. 19 million ounces of gold, just under 500 million ounces of silver. So we continue working on the metallurgical test work and whatever, and we put a press release out in September before Beaver Creek, showing that we've got it working, we understand why it's working, how it works, and so now we're just finishing off the test work to be able to start a PFS next year, and so that's really great. But what was really exciting and really not a very pleasant surprise, when we came 2.5 years ago, I brought the chief geologist with me who I'd worked with before, and we'd been working through a bunch of other smaller exploration projects that had been acquired over the years into Chesapeake. And one of them, called Lucy, had some grab samples at about 10 grams a ton. And the geologist said, hey, we should follow up on this one. This looks interesting. So we did, and we've been doing a bit of work quietly in the background on this project called Lucy. We put out the results last week, I think it was, or earlier this week. Tremendous results. We've got over 500-meter long strike. Our best hole was 24 meters, 6.1 grams a ton from surface, all oxide. There's a bunch of other holes in there as well. Go look at our website. There's a page up there with the news release and all of the background information. We've got intercepts of 3 meters at 10 grams a ton, 19 grams a ton. So we've actually found something that looks really interesting. It's in Sinaloa in Mexico. It's just down from Metates, on the flat bit at the bottom. And yeah, it's open at both ends. So 500 meters of strike, open both to the northeast and down to the southwest. Great intercepts, all oxide. We're looking to try and work out which way it's dipping. We plan to do a bit more drilling and some more preliminary work around where does it go and what could it be. And that's our latest news, and it's really something.
Very exciting times. So can you tell us a little bit more about your drill program and what's planned for, let's say, the end of this year into next year?
Yeah, so, with the press release going out about Lucy, there's some follow-up pieces to it. So further down to the southwest, there was a trench we put in that was 50-something meters at 1.7 grams a ton on the surface. So we want to drill under that to make sure it continues. So that's an extension to the southwest. Fill in a couple of the gaps because we really did quite large step outs, but they all showed mineralization. So we want to confirm that continuity along the structure. And as I just mentioned, we need to work out which way it's actually dipping down to get some idea of how deep it goes. Because at the moment, we're only down 30, 40 meters in depth. We don't know how far it goes away because it disappeared undercover, and we don't have any holes where it's gone undercover. We were drilling near the surface expression. So we're trying to work out where that goes. So we'll do that. Some of it maybe later this year and early into next year. It's the right time to be drilling down there. We're coming out of the summer. We're coming out of the rainy season. So it's dry. It's cooling down. Yeah, it's not 40 degrees in the shade. So it's a great time to go back and follow up on what are some pretty amazing hits that we've had.
So could you refresh our memory when it comes to strategic shareholders? I know Eric Sprott's a shareholder. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the top 4 shareholders, Eric is our largest shareholder. He owns 12%-ish, somewhere around there, of the company. I'm actually the second largest shareholder. I own about 11.5%. And then Sun Valley, Peter Palmetto, who's a known gold investor, looks for ounces in the ground, came in right at the beginning of Chesapeake and is still holding all of his shares. He's got a little under or right around 11%. And then Randy Rifle, the current chairman, has about 6%. So between the four of us, we own about 40% of the company, which is a great place to be because it means nobody can come and take us out on the cheap. So when we have a drill interception like we've got on Lucy, nobody can come in and just go, oh, thank you very much. I'll have that for a 30% premium and you're done. No. If you want it, you're going to have to talk to us and it's going to have to be a friendly deal. So that's a great position to be in. And they're very supportive shareholders. And obviously, I've got a big vested interest personally.
It's always nice to see skin in the game, especially from management. So as we know, valuations in the mining sector, they've been crushed over the last year or two.
Yeah.
So many companies to choose from. Why should investors look at Chesapeake versus their competitors or the other mining companies? Why?
Two or three things. One, the massive endowment. If you believe the gold price is going to bounce back, and most people do, there is a huge talk to the metal prices, gold and silver prices in the Metates resource because it's just so large. So that's one reason. The second reason, the Lucy discovery being from surface, all oxide, 500 meters long, not sure on the depth yet, 20, 30, 40 meters wide, is a great first pass discovery. So it's got a lot of talk to the share price. And then finally, unlike a lot of the other juniors, we've still got $24 million in the bank. So I've got money to be able to fund the drilling, continuing the met test work, moving to pre-feasibility study. We burn about $5 million a year to continue developing all of this stuff that we're doing. And so, that's enough for 4 or 5 years to keep going. So you're not going to see us go out and do a crazy low value equity raise to get more money because we have cash. So large talk to the metal price with Metates, exciting new discovery and $24 million in the bank. So we're set.
Cash in this market and this environment, extremely important.
Yes.
And yeah, definitely one of your highlights. So gold has pulled back recently, as we know. It's still pretty strong over the long term, but could you give us your outlook on gold? What you think has to happen in order to push the market forward. Obviously, we were getting close to 2000, or I think we even broke 2000 for a bit.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're back below 1900. So love to talk gold price and get your opinion.
Yeah, I guess there's two things as well. I mean, the gold price has gone up nicely from where it was 2 or 3 years ago. Before COVID, it was like $1,300 an ounce or something. So it's gone up a lot from there. But you haven't seen it go up in the equities. And so there's a disconnect between the gold equities and the gold price. But even without that, the outlook for gold, it's always, look, the one thing I can tell you, if I give you a number, it'll be wrong. Right? Doesn't matter what number I tell you. The one thing I do know, I'll be wrong. If I give you a number and a date, it ain't going to happen. But, the world can't keep printing money. It's just debasing everything. If you actually go back and look over the long term, what your buying power has been going down, not up, right? So you might feel rich because you're a millionaire or you've got a $1 million house, but I hate to tell you, you could buy that same house 20 years ago for a tenth of that price, or maybe even less. So it's you're not gaining buying power. Yeah. So once the world works that out and interest rates, you can't just look at the top line number on interest rates. You've got to look at what the real interest rate is. So do you believe inflation is 5 or 6% or less today? And I don't think anybody does. I don't care what the government tells you or has been telling us for decades. Inflation is not as low as they're saying, but interest rates are. So you're still seeing close to negative or zero interest rates, real interest rates. Well, then gold's holding its value, and the fiat currencies run the risk of continuing to devalue. So what are you going to do? 6% sounds great, but if inflation's running at 10%, that's -4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go look at the fuel price. We're up at $2.20 again. Yeah. So, I believe that gold or anything that's not fiat currencies, so that can be all the commodities, yeah, in real terms is going to hold its value or keep going up when you convert it to a dollar number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just when. And the interest rates going up, ask the government, how are you going to pay your interest bill? Because if you think the homeowners have got it tough, the countries, the US, Canada, Australia, God knows where else, have got a debt pile that is huge. So what are they going to do? Yeah, they can tax us to death. Yeah, everybody loves that one. Yeah, except when it's you paying it, right? But how long can you keep doing that? You can't keep running deficits forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And COVID made our deficits huge. The interest rates on those debts have now gone up. What is the government going to do? What can they do?
That's the question everybody wants to know, and I guess we'll find out soon. Hopefully nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. You can't print gold. You can't print oil. You can't print. So
No.
we will see what happens. So where should investors go for more information on the company?
Look, as I said earlier when I was talking about Lucy, go to our website. There's a specific page there now under properties for Lucy. Our website is chesapeakegold.com. If you're interested in a one-on-one call, reach out to me. Reach out through the investor relations email if that's where you want to get us, hold of us. More than happy to talk investors through what we're doing, where we're at, where we're going. So website, as usual.
Perfect, Alan. Well, thank you so much for your time and your knowledge and all the information on your company. So best of luck, and we will have you back on with more updates at a later date.
Great. Thanks for your time, Aaron.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.